Welcome back, guys. Okay, now guys, in this video I'm gonna explain a very important concept, and that is the concept of reading the level of a liquid correctly. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so how do we read the volume of a liquid? Okay, this paragraph over here has been taken from your book Chemistry Matters. Okay, you might have come across that book. It's a beautiful book, okay, especially for your chemistry. And let's get started. Let's see what they say in this paragraph over here. Okay, so how should we read the volume of a liquid? Let's just quickly read through it. When the water or a solution is placed in a glass container, it forms a curved surface called a meniscus. Okay, now this definition of meniscus, you should remember it, but I have never seen it being asked on the past papers. Okay, so you should, for your own benefit, just remember it. What a meniscus is this curvature that a liquid forms. Okay, it can either be a lower meniscus or an upper meniscus. I'll explain what lower and upper means in just a bit. Okay, it may be concave or convex. Okay, what does concave mean and what does convex mean? Okay, concave, the word cave in there, cave means, you know what a cave is, right? A cave is just an opening in a mountain, right? Or a hill, an opening in that, or somewhere an opening. It's called a cave, right? It's an inverted opening. So if you look at this meniscus over here, the 2.5, the level number 2.5 over here, let me zoom in a bit. Okay, now if you look at this meniscus, in this meniscus, if you look at it, it's somewhat like this. Okay, now it's a U-shaped meniscus, right? So you could just remember it this way, that a U-shaped meniscus is called a concave meniscus. Or you could also think of it this way, just a bit. You could think of it this way, that any meniscus, since this is a concavity, since it's a depression that has been formed, meaning the surface has gone inside. Since this is a concavity that has been produced, or a depression has been produced, or a hole has been produced over here, that's why it's called a concave meniscus. Concave meniscus. Okay, or this could have been the other way around as well. If the concavity was not down, but rather this meniscus was upwards, meaning it was a bump, it wasn't a depression, but rather was a bump-like structure, then this is how it would have looked like. Okay, let me just highlight it here. This is how it would have looked like. This is a bump-like meniscus, right? And a bump-like meniscus, it's not concave. You don't see a cave being formed over here. Okay, if for instance you're coming in from the top and you don't see a depression over here or cave being formed, then that means it's a convex meniscus. Okay, a convex meniscus. And the other one in which a concavity is visible, that's a concave meniscus. Okay, the two terms, I hope they're clear now. This convex meniscus is called the upper meniscus, and the concave meniscus is called the lower meniscus. It's called the lower meniscus, and the convex meniscus is called an upper meniscus. Okay, so these are two terms that should be crystal clear in your mind by now. Now after this, let's go back to what they're saying over here. So the meniscus could either be a concave meniscus or convex meniscus, or a lower meniscus or an upper meniscus. Now to read the volume, align your eyes to the liquid level. If the meniscus is concave, meaning lower meniscus, then read of the scale at the bottom of the meniscus. Okay, if you look at the meniscus, it's level, then listen up, think of it this way. If the meniscus is a U-shaped meniscus, you have to touch its peak. Okay, your line of sight should touch its peak and should go through that point, and this is where your eye should be placed, right? So you align. If it's a concave meniscus, you align your line of sight in such a way that you look at the lower meniscus. Okay, you look at the bottom of the meniscus. And if it's a convex meniscus, then you need to look at the top of the meniscus. Simple as that. Okay, this is where your line of sight should be. And it should be passing through the top of the meniscus. And this line of sight should touch a scale reading. Oh, sorry about that. It should touch a scale reading over here, right? And that scale reading is the liquid level. Okay, let me erase this out from here. Now look at these two menisci. Menisci being the plural of meniscus. Oh, again, this meniscus over here, this scale reading, this eye sight over here, this scale reading is 5.6 because it's the sixth division after 25. 25.6 cm cube, and if you look at this one, it's 25.6 as well. But this is the difference in between them is that this is the upper meniscus and that's the lower meniscus, meaning this is a concave meniscus and this is the convex meniscus. Okay, I hope I hope you understand how to read off the levels of liquids in different instruments by now. And by the way, just let me give you some very common examples. Water, your H2O water, it forms a lower meniscus, whereas mercury, on the other hand, forms an upper meniscus. Okay, remember this because these two examples are very commonly asked on the past papers. Okay, especially in physics and also sometimes in chemistry. Now, the SI unit for volume is cubic meter. We've already covered that. The cubic centimeter, liter, and milliliters are also used. And this is the conversion that we already covered. Okay, 1 liter is 1000 ml or 1000 cm cube. 1 liter is 1 dm cube, the same thing as dm cube, or 1000 cm cube, same thing. And 1 meter cube is equal to 1000 liters or 1000 dm cube. Okay, same thing, because liter and dm cube are the same thing. And this concludes this talk on how to read off the levels of liquid in different instruments, or in this case it's a burette that we're talking about. Okay, in a burette. So this is how you're gonna read it, and this applies to almost any apparatus out there for measuring out the liquid levels. And thank you so much guys, and see you next time in the next lecture.